Thank you very much, Simon. Yes, here we are then, the absolute finale to this fantastic season. Honda on top, but Chevrolet's actually, in terms of the grid, Tim, are lining up pretty well. Alex McDowell's on pole, Jason's up there. So we could be in for a pretty exciting race, whatever happens in the championship.
Well, the last race of the year, the last race of the day is always an exciting one, isn't it? Everybody wants to finish the championship on a high. And there are those at the front that would love to win this race. And I hope Jason Plato is one of those. The Hondas will have to watch their battle between them. Clearly, Matt has a comfortable advantage at the moment. But that supposes that he finishes the race, and that's not always an easy thing. If they both finish the race, Gordon, as he said, has got to be at least fourth or fifth with fastest lap, with Matt a long way down.
The nerves are jangling, and you could see it even in Matt Neal. He's a double champion already, and yet he is feeling it. You could see that interview with Simon. Look at the onboard there. There is that sense of anxiety. He wants it. He still has massive hunger. He might have won this twice before, but 2006 was the last time he did it, so it's quite a while. And of course, big rival Jason Plato managed his second last year. He could go on to become a 3-time champion. It's a very select group of drivers that have achieved that.
Yeah, it's a personal thing now. They've done the team thing. They've won all the team's championships. One of the two Honda cars will win the championship. Matt and Gordon are sitting in their cars now. I'd almost be tempted to pull the radio connection out and just focus on my own world and my own race. They know what they've got to do. And, it just comes down to the two of them now.
Well, you've been there, Tim. You've been there on this very track, and you've come out the winner. How are you going to call this one?
Well, I've thought from the word go this meeting that of the 3 or 5 drivers even that were in contention at the start, Matt Neal was the one that was clearly focused, that wanted it badly enough. He proved that with pole position with maximum ballast, with a win in the first race with maximum ballast, with a strong race in the second race with maximum ballast. He's the one I think, has really carried himself the best so far and should start this race clearly with his 6-point advantage, but B, I think with his mental attitude as favourite to win the championship.
Well, we're about to find out whether he can do it and whether any other factors will influence the outcome of this 2011 championship. The cars move away on their final formation lap. Well, we hope it's their final formation lap, unless there's a problem when they come back to the grid. A lot of rubber debris all over the side of the track from both touring cars and the support races here today. So it means running offline is not a good idea on this formation.
No, it looks like the track after a Formula One race, doesn't it, with all the marbles and rubber. And that could have an effect, actually. Certainly, if you run wide on the first lap, on the first bend there's a big advantage if you just hurl the car around the outside, particularly from further back. But the negative side now is going to be picking up a lot of rubber.
There's also the low sun, which could make life a bit tricky. This is the lineup for this final race then. McDowell is on pole in the Silverline Chevy, Tom Chilton in the Ford alongside. Plato next up with Tom Boardman in the Seat on row 2. Andrew Jordan and Dave Newsham sharing row 3 with Vauxhall and Seat respectively. Tom Onslow Cole then has Matt Neal next to him on row 4, obviously ahead of Gordon Shedden with the top 9 cars reversed for this race. Dan Welsh is on that 5th row. Andy Neate and Rob Austin are together on row 6. Then it's Ollie Jackson and Liam Griffin. James Nash, who is the Independence Drivers' Champion. As we know, Jeff Smith, row 8. Row 9, Lee Wood in the last ever outing of the Honda Integra, with which, of course, Matt Neal took 2 championships in the mid-2000s. Chris Swanick is on that 9th row. Then Tony Gillam on row 10 with John George. Tony Hughes and Chris James on row 11. Rob Collard and Martin Byford are together on row 12. Then it's Frank Rathel, Matt Jackson, who was a contender coming into this race. We gather James Thompson is going to be starting from the pit lane, so that's a disappointment. He's had a really rough time as James Thompson, but he's enjoying being back in the camp, I know that. Nick Foster and Paul O'Neill bringing up the rear. And there is James Thompson, Tim, so really it's been a tough day for him, hasn't it?
It's not been a weekend to write home about. It hasn't been a triumphant return to the British Series for James, which is a great shame. Now, there you see the sun very much in the driver's face as they come down towards Brooklands at the end of the lap. I know Matt Neal runs quite a dark visor that he can pull down a little bit. Gordon just has a visor strip, but it certainly will play a little bit of a part.
I know
it would give a great excuse if you hit anybody, wouldn't it?
It was a problem for a few drivers, though, I gather, at Brands Hatch. Several drivers. Nick Foster struggled, and they've put a new visor on his helmet because he had that problem. And Andy Neate missed his turning point up at Sheen because of the sun. So it really can be a factor, can't it?
Definitely. if I was Gordon Shedden, I'd be sitting here thinking, right, I've just got to go for it and put as many cars as I can between me and Matt Neal, because Matt's going to be being cautious, and it's no good Gordon being cautious now. No. He's got one chance, and that is to absolutely go for it and put a load of cars between him and Matt.
I wonder, he's starting on the outside of the grid, on the left-hand side. That is Shedden moving his position. It could be worth a run around the outside of Copse. It's a risk, but it could be worth a go here for Gordon Shedden. If he gets a good getaway, watch for him trying to just go around the outside, sweep around as many cars as possible at that first corner, whilst Matt Neal will probably play safe and stay on the inside. That's my prediction. It'll probably turn out to be entirely wrong, but we'll wait and see. We're about to find out. The final round of the British Touring Car Championship of 2011 is all set to get underway here on the Silverstone National Circuit. It will be a Honda driver that wins the title, but which one will it be? Wait for those lights, and then we'll get the last race underway. Lights out quickly, and away we go. Plato slow away, Tom Chilton fast, and Alex McDowell also very quick. What a quick start that was, and some drivers were definitely caught napping. It's Chilton who's taken the lead.
Yeah, it was actually McDowell that was slow ahead in front of Plato. Plato went to the inside, and I think has got second place.
Yeah, good point. It was Plato, that's right, who's made the good start. McDowell, who got caught out by it, so he's in third place. So Tom Chilton leads. Plato it is in second now. Where are the Hondas?
There's a Honda coming through on the inside there, but he's got another one right behind it. So
Neal is ahead. Oh, Bourman off. Yeah, Tom's gone very, very wide. Gets back on. Hopefully no damage done. So Chilton leads, doing his little trick of trying to keep tyre temperature as he wiggles his way down towards Brickland. And there are the two Hondas. Matt Neal ahead of Gordon Shedden, and that will keep Matt Neal happy. Shedden needs to go on the attack here.
Oh, that was dangerous. So Matt Neal was on the outside of the Ford, and he had to turn in and just kept the car nicely on the track in front of Shedden.
So Tom Bourman still in the group there. Behind him is Andrew Jordan. The rest of them come through. So across the line we've got Chilton leading, Plato, then McDowell, followed by Bourman, a great fourth. Fifth place for Andrew Jordan. Sixth is Onslow Cole. Then the two Hondas. Matt Neal seventh. Shednath Newsham wide there. What's going on?
Yeah, he was pulling off. He's got a problem. He was pulling out of the racing line with a problem for sure.
Oh, that's a shame. He ran ninth across the line. Rob Austin 10th across the line, and we're with the two Hondas. So Matt Neal ahead of Gordon Shedden, and that certainly would give him the championship if it finishes that way around, whereas Shedden really needs to go on the attack here. Up front, the race being led by the Ford of Tom Chilton, with Plato tucked in behind in the Silverline Chevy.
Yeah, that didn't work out at all well for Gordon Shedden. He's not winning the championship at the moment, and he's got his team leader, if you like, and championship leader in front.
Yeah, he has, and Matt Neal playing a little bit of a defensive game, understandably here, as he's got his teammate behind him where he wants him. Keep an eye on him in his mirror. Of course, Matt Neal could allow Shedden through and still win the championship, but it's always nice to be ahead and controlling the situation. Up ahead of Matt Neal is Tom Onslow Cole, and they've gone across the line. I'll tell you what, Plato is still staying with Tom Chilton at front in the lead of this race. Somebody a little bit wide there. Long way out on the exit of Copse, but there Chilton, McDowell's dropped down to fourth, because Boardman's come up to third.
Yes, he has, and both the Hondas staying well off the insides of the curbs, looking after their tyres, and I think Matt Neal feels that he knows Gordon well enough that Gordon isn't going to do anything stupid, and he'd almost rather have Gordon behind him perhaps than someone else who might challenge them, but I think they've got enough speed in that car. The next car up is behind them is Rob Austin, and they should be able to put away from him.
Yeah, you're looking back from Matt Neal at Gordon Shedden. So there's the challenge for Shedden. You can see the sun glinting in their eyes there as they come through Luffield Corner. Shedden needs to go on the attack, but he's racing his teammate. He can't afford to crash into him. It has happened once already this year. They don't want it to happen in the final round of the championship, but Gordon Shedden not close enough to attack cleanly here as they come into Copse Corner.
No, and also Gordon Shedden, if he was in front of Matt Neal, he could probably hold him up a little bit to allow some other cars onto the back of Matt Neal, so he hasn't got that opportunity tactically either.
No, that's right. So all working towards Matt Neal currently. You can see Rob Austin in the background behind them, getting into a bit of a wiggle as he comes out of Beckett's corner.
He does that in every corner, I think, Rob Austin.
Always great to watch. That is how the standings are. If they were to finish as they are now, Matt Neal would take the title by 7 points from Shedden. Plato, of course, we know, down in third place in the championship. Bit wide on the turn in there, Shed, and missed a bit of speed through the corner as well.
Yeah, Gordon's carrying a lot of speed into the corners at the moment and trusting that the front end of the car is going to grip and turn, and it's not actually working well for him at the moment. But fastest lap at the moment has gone to Boardman as they cross the line. Boardman again quickest. Yeah,
the Seat is flying. He did well in free practice yesterday as well. But Tom Boardman is going extremely well in third place. He's had a podium earlier on this year. I wonder if he can finish his season in style. But Chilton and Plato still got the advantage in this race at the moment. The gap only 0.3 of a second between them. There's Boardman being chased down by Alex McDowell. Well, Boardman managed to get past the Chevy a lap or so ago, and he looks comfortable to stay there. Jordan is 5th. Onslow Cole is in 6th place. Matt Neal, then Gordon Shetton. Rob Austin is 9th. James Nash is in 10th place. Then it's Collard, Ollie Jackson, Rathel, Griffin, and Matt Jackson is currently in 15th. But we're on board here with Jason Plato.
Yeah, Jason will be just waiting and hoping that Chilton's front tyres on the turbocharged Ford just wear out a little bit earlier than his, and that certainly is the case around here. And Plato will sit there and wait for his moment later in the race, I guess.
Tom Chilton loves this Silverstone action, so he took his first ever win here at Silverstone, and he was the youngest ever winner at that point in British touring car history, so he does love this place. Had 2 wins last year. He'll feel pretty composed and comfortable leading, even if it is Jason Plato chasing him down.
Yeah, Chilton's... Oh!
That's Collard. Collard has gone wide. He was in 13th place. He's dropped several. He might be able to get back on.
Yeah, very wide there at Copse, and well, Plato pushing on very hard at Beckett's, running right over the exit.
Yeah, now let's see if we can spot what happened there to Collard. He was down the inside. Rathel, oh, and there was contact on the straight there.
Yeah, very dangerous place to make contact. Obviously a little awareness problem between the two of them rather than anything malicious, I'm sure. Just a little awareness problem where the other car was.
So at the moment, Plato still in 2nd place to Tom Chilton, as these guys look for the top spots, and up behind them in the championship, of course, it's still Matt Neal who's heading for the title, courtesy of his position 1 ahead of Gordon Shetton. He's comfortably in front in terms of the points if it finishes like this, but let's wait and see. We're on lap 7 out of 22, 1/3 distance then, and still anything can happen. We've just seen Rob Austin go through, James Nash, Ollie Jackson, Frank Rathel, Matt Jackson tucked in behind Rathel, so Jackson could be on the move. Thompson, meanwhile, who started from pit lane, has just set fastest lap, so he's getting to grips with that Ford, and he's now in 18th position.
Yeah, that's a good performance. We're finally seeing something good out of James Thompson. He'll need a safety car or something to just pull him back onto the pack, but he's clearly got the pace to pass a few cars, and there he is in the background.
Yes, that's right. Jordan going through just up front in this group, but look further back down the pack. Matt Jackson is running 13th, and then he's just going to be coming. Griffin is there, and there James Thompson is there. He's the 3rd of the Airways cars, but remember, he had to start from pit lane. So that's an impressive fastest lap of 1 minute 1.108 from James Thompson in his first outing in the car. So everybody now just trying to settle into a rhythm, settle into their pace. Chilton has that 0.3 of a second advantage over Jason Plato, but Plato's definitely not giving up on the charge. The problem for Plato is that Ford is so fast in a straight line, and Plato's going to have to find a way in the twiddly bits, particularly down at Brooklands and Luffield.
Yeah, a lot of understeer from Chilton's car as he turned into Beckett's there. In fact, the 3 cars behind him all lapped quite a bit quicker on the last lap. So I think Chilton's already getting into tyre issues, and the whole pack is closing up. I remember a huge spin that I think Chilton had down this pit straight, or down the Wellington straight as it's now called, a few years ago when there was some contact, and we don't want to see that again, but certainly he could become a little bit of a roadblock if the others catch up. Look, they're all catching up.
They are, yes. So Jason Plato keeping that pressure on. Yeah, that big spin was an interesting one, and Jason was involved then too, wasn't he? So let's see what happens between these two. Cross the line they come. Look at the speed trap figures. Chilton 123 miles an hour, but actually matched pretty closely by the Chevy there. I guess the start-finish speed trap is not quite so indicative perhaps of top speeds on the other straight. Look at the front of Dan Welsh's car, but mind you, he's still able to overtake.
Yeah, well, you know, fair play for keeping going, and he's past Martin by... Oh, and behind, Thompson and Collard. Thompson and Collard together.
Oh,
shades of 92 again.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, same place. But Thompson, I think, survived the moment. He's in 17th when they came past us, just ahead of Collard. Behind Jordan, you've still got Onslow Cole. There are the two Hondas then, Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. No change between these two. They have run in each other's wheel tracks pretty much throughout the day, and here they are doing it again, this time for 7th and 8th.
Yeah, although they are catching up with Onslow Cole. I assume Onslow Cole's possibly running into the same tyre issues that Chilton is at the front, and that's going to give Matt Neal some questions of what to do, but I think Onslow Cole's a very fair racer.
Yeah, so let's see what happens as they cross the line. So we're on to lap 10 out of 22 now as the sun continues to drop. Is it going to be shining for Matt Neal? That's a bit wide for Gordon Shedden. Yes, he can do that a few times, but he certainly won't want to get a drive-through penalty. That'd be a horrible way to decide the championship, so he's got to be careful not to do that too often.
Yeah, he has. He gathers it all up though and has a nice entry to Beckett's and a good exit, so just a little mistake but quickly rectified.
So Matt Neal looking good for the title at the moment as it stays this way. The two of them trying to chase down the Ford ahead of them, and Tom Onslow Cole behind them. They've got Rob Austin, who is certainly on a par with their pace. He's just caught up a little bit over the last lap or so, and Rob Austin is always a hard-charging racer, so he won't worry too much about the championship. He'll just want to try and pick up some places if he can in this final race of the season. There is the Honda camp then, keeping a close eye on proceedings. What is going to happen here?
Yeah, and Rob Austin obviously has a rear-wheel drive NGTC car, so it's still quick on the straights, but should look after its tyres quite well, being rear-wheel drive, and also it has slightly wider tyres, so they should last longer than the NGTC. So he could actually be the difficult one.
James Thompson has just set another new fastest lap, interestingly enough, down in 16th place, so he really is enjoying himself in the Ford in the final run of the day. As you have a look at the two Hondas once again, Gordon Shedden still tucked in behind teammate Matt Neal. Up front there's no change, by the way. It's still Tom Chilton leading from Jason Plato. Tom Borman is third in the set, McDowell is fourth, Jordan fifth, and Onslow Cole just ahead of these two, and they are getting that bit closer, aren't they, to the back of Tom Onslow Cole now.
Yeah, definitely getting closer, but I don't think Matt Neal really wants to challenge.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting at a respectable pace behind Onslow Cole, staying off the curbs, but of course that's allowing Rob Austin and Shedden to get on the back of him.
Yeah, so Matt Neal having to think about this a little bit. And Rob Austin even closer to the back of Gordon Shedden now. Look at the Audi beginning to move out of the slipstream just a touch on the run down towards Cox. So Rob Austin fancies a chance of splitting the Hondas at least, or getting ahead of both of them perhaps. Gordon Shedden won't want that, of course. He needs to try and stay latched onto the bumper of his teammate to look for an opportunity to go through. But Austin is getting quicker and quicker by the looks of things as that rear-wheel drive Audi comes into its own in this second half of the race.
Yeah, the other, behind Austin is Nash. You can see him in the picture there, and he had a podium in the first race, and he's lapping quicker than this group in front as well.
Matt Jackson behind him in 11th place. Ollie Jackson is 12th. Frank Rathel still running 13th. There are Liam Griffin and James Thompson. Thompson, the only driver, I think, to get under the 1 minute barrier, 59.971. That fastest lap last time around. We'll see if there are any further improvements as they come past the line this time. Half a second advantage now for Tom Chilton, who leads the race. No change just here. Onslow Cole just ahead enough of Matt Neal that he hasn't got to protect, but Rob Austin definitely hunting around. There is the race leader then, Tom Chilton, still from Plato. Bourman a solid third from McDowell. Andrew Jordan a slightly lonely fifth in the Pertec Vauxhall, but he'll be happy to score some consistent points to finish off the year after some up and downs in recent events. And there, Shedden quick in, but just seemed to lose a little bit of mid-corner speed to Matt Neal, and that could give Rob Austin a chance to close up again.
Yeah, Rob Austin's car is very quick on the straight for sure, but not quite so good on the brake. So he's looking, but the Hondas are very good on the brakes.
Yeah.
For Matt Neal, the flag just couldn't come out quick enough. This race is agony, just wishes it would finish.
Yeah, Shedden now getting right into the boot virtually of Matt Neal's car, but he's got to charge because he's being attacked himself by Rob Austin and also James Nash, who is catching up this middle group. So this could become quite a fraught battle in the closing stages. Austin really got a good run behind Shedden. Rob Austin having a little look, but no, it's such a short braking area there. Difficult to try and overtake without taking a huge gamble, and Rob Austin wasn't going to do it on that lap, so he slopped in behind the Hondas once again. These guys still running 7th, 8th and 9th, and at the moment Matt Neal looking good for that third championship title.
Well, James Thompson's now got a drive-through penalty, so we can understand why he was setting those fast laps now. He was obviously using the run-off and more. Well, but he's got nothing to lose.
Exactly, yeah. I suppose there was nothing to lose by that. So he's going to have a drive-through penalty. And Rob Austin glances in his mirror, but wasn't really trying to overtake as such. Keeping an eye now on James Nash in the silver and black Vauxhall. And then behind Nash is still Matt Jackson. Jackson, he picked up that puncture in race 1, but it hasn't stopped him bouncing over the curbs a little bit to try and gain just that little bit more margin and catch up to this group ahead. Look at Chilton, bit of a slide as he turned into Cops there, but he's still holding the edge over Jason Plato in second, Boardman in third, and McDowell in fourth place.
Yeah, and Jackson actually, Matt Jackson, that is, hit his teammate Liam Griffin at the start of race 2, which caused another puncture. And in fact, they had to bring him back in and readjust the rear toe, because when he went out the pit lane, it was all down the inside. Nash on Austin.
Oh, Austin saw that coming and gave him just enough space to work with, but it's allowed Matt Jackson to get involved as well. So the two guys who were fighting for the independence title are now going to be fighting on track. Jackson having to take to the grass here, but that's given him the inside line as they come down towards Brooklands. And now Nash is going to have to be very brave to stay with him. He can't do it, and Jackson takes the place.
Yeah, and gets a little bump in the rear just for good. Now a bigger bump.
Oh, that was a bit cheeky there from James Nash. Jackson was through, and Nash decided to just lean on him.
Yeah, I think there might be some replay on that one, because that was just allowing the car to run into it.
Let's see what happens.
Look, Matt's pushing him down the straight there.
Yeah, well, let's just behave, guys. You don't need to throw it all away at this point in the season. Let's just see how that worked out again.
Well, there was the first tap from Jackson, and then another harder one into Luffield to ease him wide, so Nash can go through on the inside. Now Jackson's through at Abbey on the inside, and this time Jackson gives James Nash gives him room.
Bonnet might be flapping a bit on the front of the Airways car though, and if one bonnet pin has gone, then you always had a bit of a fear that the other one might go as well.
Yeah, he'll have to come in for that for sure. You can't let the car run round like that, because when the bonnet comes up, it'll smash the windscreen, put glass in the driver's eyes. That's about to go for sure.
Yeah, it's being held on by the one bonnet pin at the moment, but that is a bit risky. Of course, when the breeze gets underneath that massive amount of force on the car, and poor Matt Jackson, his day hasn't got any better at all, has it? Leading the championship, of course, when we went to Knockhill some races ago, but it's just been horrible since then. He's going to have a change of luck. Now, what's going on here? Shetton got a chance on Matt Neal, not quite, but Rob Austin is going to go past. Rob Austin goes past Gordon Shetton, and he's got the move made, surely, unless he runs wide on the exit, and that splits the two Hondas, and it gives Matt Neal even more of a margin.
It does, but I mean, maybe Shetton's thinking, well, Rob Austin can do the damage to Matt Neal if Matt Neal gets... Shetton was out wide at Copse, and the power of the NGTC car, the Rob Austin Audi, got him up the inside.
Yeah, so that was the move, and Austin, as you say, will now try and get past Matt Neal. Meanwhile, James Nash has been given a drive-through penalty. Car number 14, drive-through penalty for James Nash, and he's taking it straight away. We saw him in the background there, heading for the pit lane. Yeah,
I wonder if that was for the touch on Matt Jackson. I don't know, but look, Austin's looking up the inside of Matt Neal now, and this could be just what Shetton wants. It could actually work for him.
Yeah, well, let's wait and see. They're still all behind Tom Onslow Cole as well. Matt Neal still wants to finish this race in one piece, but of course Gordon Shetton has now been pushed back to 9th, so even if Matt didn't finish the race, if Gordon, he might move up to 8th, it still wouldn't be quite enough for Shetton to win the championship. So still all to play for, and of course we want it clean to the end. We don't want to see Matt Neal in trouble, but he is under pressure, as you can see from the Audi as they come under the bridge on the Wellington straight down towards Brooklands, and here comes Rob Austin, and Matt Neal, is he going to let him through? Surely he's going to give him space. Round goes Austin, just gets through on the inside. Now, does that allow Shetton to get even closer? Not close enough, I don't think.
No, but as you say, the problem is that Shetton needs to finish 4th or 5th with fastest lap, but he's not going to get fastest lap now, so the only way that Shetton can win is by finishing 4th, regardless of what Matt Neal does, and it doesn't look like he's going to get there.
Black and orange flag for Matt Jackson, as we thought he's been asked to come back into the pits, and he is in the pits already as Matt Jackson to sort out that bonnet, which is flapping away. But Matt Neal looking better and better at the moment for the title, although there's no car between them. He's still ahead of Shetton, which is where he wants to be. Up front in this race, Tom Chilton still looking good for victory. Jason Plato running in second. Tom Boorman is in third. There are the leaders then. Chilton maintaining that edge over Plato. Boorman, McDowell, Jordan, a little bit lonely there. Then this group of cars, which is quite promising because Rob Austin's pace has been impressive over the last couple of laps. I wonder if he can now catch and get past Tom Onslow Cole.
Yeah, well, certainly Tom Chilton and Tom Onslow Cole in 2A on Fords have looked after their tyres very well, considering they do have the fastest car down the straight, but Rob Austin's car's very quick too, and he is really pushing Onslow Cole now across the start-finish line. Yeah,
Rob Austin wants to finish the season off in style with that Audi, that NGTC car. It was new this year. They had lots of problems with it to get it sorted in the early part of the year, but we've seen some good performances recently, and Rob Austin now solidly inside the top 10. He's running 7th, he's chasing down 6th, but here between the two Hondas, no change. It's still Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden fighting it out for the title, but right now it looks as though it's heading Matt Neal's way for the third time, and the laps beginning to run out now for Gordon Shedden if he's going to make any moves. And with the field being so spread out, even if he could get past Matt Neal and get 1 or 2 places, the field is so spread out, surely he can't get enough cars between himself and Matt in the remaining part of the race.
Well, black and white flag for Jason Plato again, so he can't afford to run wide anymore, or that would be a penalty. But there's only a couple laps to go now, so it's going to be too little, too late for Gordon Shedden, I think.
Oh. No, it's all right. That's just back mark of Chris James going past, and
still running very wide to do it, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But it'll be too late to have a black flag anyway.
Yeah, it probably will. It'll be the last lap of the race, so hopefully he won't get a drive-through penalty. Chilton continues to lead this race, and it looks as though Tom Chilton is going to be heading for his second win of the season. He had a victory earlier on this year, of course, at Knock Hill, but apart from that, he's only had one other podium finish, so this would be a very solid end to their season. Disappointed earlier this weekend to get a drive-through penalty for that same reason that Jason Plato's being warned, but look at this, the Honda's still there. Frank Raffles caught them as well in the Toyota.
Yeah, we've not noticed Frank actually catching up.
Austin and Onslow Cole make contact right in front of the Hondas, and Matt Neal's right there, and he's got to try and avoid them, and thankfully they get the cars pointing the right way again.
Yeah, Matt just backed out of that, didn't want to be involved at all.
Oh, nervous moments indeed for Matt Neal. You do not want to see all that happening right in front of you with your rival for the championship sitting on your boot lid. Meanwhile, Frank Raffle also tucked in behind as well, and on to the last lap they go then. Shedden running wide, but he won't get black flags anymore. We're on the last lap, he can afford to do that, but Rob Austin has got the place, so he's got past Onslow Cole, and there are the race leaders. It's Tom Chilton heading down towards Brooklands, Jason Plato in a solid second place, but look back and it looks to be heading all the way off Matt Neal as they head down towards Brooklands and Luffield for the final time.
A wonderful, wonderful event for Honda Racing, winning the first 2 races, staying out of trouble. Matt Neal is deserving to take the championship. Oh!
Frank Raffles trying to get past on the last corner, and he's got past Shedden, but Chilton wins. Plato finishes second, but the 3 times British Touring Car champion, the champion of 2011, it is Matt Neal. He's done it. Matt Neal wins the title. He beats his teammate Gordon Shedden, who finishes second, and Honda have dominated here this weekend. They might not have won this race, but Matt Neal has taken the title for them. Gordon Shedden finishes runner-up. That's his best ever finish in the championship. Head down. He couldn't do any more than he did. He gave it everything he had, but Matt Neal was just that little bit stronger all weekend.
5 drivers came into the last race with a chance, but the one who wanted it badly enough, and he proved it in that last race by beating his main rival, was Matt Neal, and 3 times a British champion. Used to be the People's Champion, perhaps he will be again now. He is certainly the points champion. The two of them congratulating each other. They've been a fantastic pairing all year.
So it's lovely to see Matt Neal and Gordon there just celebrating together as they head around. Matt, this is Ben in the Combox. Many, many congratulations. A fantastic job. Lift your visor and say hello to us. That was great. You're speechless, aren't you?
Yeah, mate. Just a bit.
Fantastic.
Just a mega effort by everyone at Honda. Just mega.
And you had to work for it throughout that race too, didn't you?
Yeah, mate. I've worked all weekend, all year, but this is not for me. It's a flash. It's for everybody. It's been a proper team effort. It's everyone at Honda have worked together. Oh, mate, it's mega. Thank you.
Well done. 3 times the British Touring Car champion, Matt Neal, has...
Can I go home now?
Yeah, you can go home now. Thanks, Matt. Fantastic. And a really super effort from the whole team. Chilton, the race winner. Jason Plato finishes 2nd. Boardman 3rd. McDowell 4th. And Andrew Jordan 5th, with Rob Austin a fine and fighting 6th. Tom Onzo-Cole held on to 7th, but an all-important 8th place in the end there for Matt Neal, who took the title with that, heading Frank Rathel and Gordon Shedden to the line. Outside the top 10 then, we saw the likes of Ollie Jackson, Paul O'Neill, Liam Griffin, Dan Welsh as well, outside the top 10. But in the points, it is Matt Neal who has taken the title in the end, not by a massive margin, but he's done it. 8 points the advantage over Gordon Shedden. Jason Plato does finish 3rd in the points. Matt Jackson and James Nash, fierce rivals all year long, actually finished on the same number of points, but Matt Jackson gets the 4th place courtesy of more race victories. Jordan ends up finishing 6th, Tom Chilton 7th, ahead of Collard, McDowell and Paul O'Neill.